And last year, August, there was a big shift that happened or big thing that happened, event that happened, that Instagram started being indexed by Google for search. Okay. And when that happened, I will tell you almost overnight, I mean, I was like, what the hell is going on? Right? Like almost overnight, 80% of our clients went number one at Google. And I was just like, whoa, right?
Well, AI isn't just changing dentistry, it's completely redefining it. Tune into Byte-sized podcast, the dental AI and tech podcast, and stay ahead of the curve.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Byte-sized podcast. And what we're going to be talking about today is social media posting. So my claim, and the claim of Anissa here, who we've brought on to this podcast, is that if dentists are not posting on social media, and good content, not just anything, they are not going to be found online with some of the changes that are happening with Google, with search and AI search and so forth. And I know that's a super, super bold statement, but it's kind of the reality of how digital marketing has shifted, and it's shifting very quickly in this direction. Social media is probably one of the most important things that you can do to be found online. And it's different than it used to be years ago. So we're going to be discussing the shift and the changes, and maybe some of the kind of the technological changes that are leading us in this direction. And I have asked Dr. Broussard, Anissa Broussard, to come on because she is like the freaking OG when it comes to marketing, especially social media. So when my company, my social practice, got started back in 2010, we launched a social media product, and Anissa was, I think you were the 46th client or 42nd client that we brought in. You're super, super early, before anybody even knew what social media was. And what's interesting is you probably didn't know this, Anissa. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, probably not. That I used you as like the case study forever. Like whenever we would talk to somebody online, we're like, this is what you need to do. Check out what Anissa's done, because you had about 2,000 followers when we started working with you. And that was like unheard of. Right. If somebody had 25 followers at that time on Facebook, we're talking about Facebook, they kind of were like in the game. You had 2,000, 2,500 followers. And by the time we started working together and you moved on and started your own company and so forth, you had like 50,000 followers on Facebook. It was sick. And I can't tell you how many people bought our services because of you. Thank you, by the way. Did I send you a gift basket? I don't think that I did. Anyway, Anissa is super interesting because, and maybe you don't like to say this yourself, but she has a super like clear knack of like knowing trends and what's about to happen. You're like always ahead of the game, it seems like. Reviews and social media and funnels and all this stuff that you've done over the years. So Anissa is on here because she is like the go-to gal in the dental industry for how to do social media. And she knows all about this topic. So welcome to the podcast. And I really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us some of your gems.
Thank you so much for having me. And I want to have you to give yourself some credit, right? As well. And, my social practice was actually the OG, right? Understanding the need for social media and really helping so many practices to start in this space, and I'm honored and I'm grateful. And many people don't know this, but, I'm a dental speaker. I speak at conferences and events, but my first time speaking was at your conference, right? The digital marketing conference, and you guys as a client.
And you killed it. You totally killed it. And you were super nervous. You're like, right. I'm like, no, you got this. You got this.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, you were awesome. Well, it was like the credibility was so huge at that point because nobody knew what was going on and you just had done it. And it was like there was no like template for it to know how to like use social media in a dental practice. And you just kind of set it. You kind of like set the standard. So it was very easy for you to go on and be convincing about what to do. So
thank you.
Yeah, it's been a good run for sure. And it's nice that we're kind of full loop, kind of coming back and we're working with each other and talking and helping each other out. So tell us a little bit about, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it really is. And what I want the listeners to really take away from this is the collaboration that we're doing, right? Because both of us have a lot of experience with both are also very intrigued and very hands-on with what's happening with AI. And so hopefully this discussion between the two of us who are humbly stating thought leaders in social media can come together and really give you insight into all the changes that are happening. And we come with a unified voice in terms of what you need to do because there are massive changes. Instagram is being indexed by Google now, and there's AI overviews. And so I'm excited to dig into all of that.
Cool. So just give us a quick history on your practice when you got out of school and kind of where you practice now, and just a little
Yeah.
bit about yourself.
So I graduated in dental school from Alabama back in 2001. And
Roll Tide,
right?
Roll Tide. Yeah.
And interestingly, as I started my practice, my first practice, a friend's sister said, you need to make a website. Well, at the time, everybody was doing yellow pages marketing. And I'm like, what is that, a website? www. But I went ahead and I was listening. And so I think I might have been the first in Birmingham, Alabama to have a website. Well, 8 years later, I was number one on Google. And so when social media came out around 2010, which is right when you guys launched my social practice, I was actually opening up a new office. And so I remembered what happened with my website. And so that's the reason why when many people were saying, oh, well, social media is just a little gimmick, or they didn't understand it, they were confused, they were avoiding it, they were unaware. I said, I remember what happened. And so I went in, I initially, signed up, went all in with my social practice. And, things are different now. Then it was like
Yeah.
social sign. It's like,
Yeah.
missionary.
That was a big deal. Yeah.
And so we were doing all of those things. And so long story short, I started to understand how to grow a social audience and how to get patients, more importantly. So
Mhm.
into funnels and all of this. And so as you shared, we had 50,000 followers getting 50 patients a month from like really very low spend. And so, I will tell you with very clear certainty, right? That we are in another major shift. So first it was websites and Google, and then it was social media with Facebook being the only platform. And now it is AI. And so for those of you who are unaware of what's happening or you are avoiding it, right,
Yeah.
you are definitely going to be left behind because it's not just dental marketing. As we know, AI is taking over everything. Many people are saying, Google ads have gone up, and I have my theories on why that's happening, which I'd love to share. But definitely there's a lot of things that are happening. And so again, really excited to have this conversation.
So it's funny because there's this, if you think about it, it's kind of like from an internal psychological place, right?
Right.
You're running a business and this gimmick comes along, what looks like a gimmick, right? A website. Like back in 2000, 2001, when you built your website, it was probably kind of like a gimmick,
Right.
like, yeah, I don't know. Social media comes along. Some people still think it's a gimmick, right? Reviews, which
Right.
became a huge deal in ranking and conversion and social proof, gimmicky. So there's like, it feels gimmicky, but the doctors or the individuals who are at least willing to like investigate it and try it out and see if it works are the ones that have the gains. I can tell you like doctors who jumped on the Google review game back in 2010, 11-ish, probably, and became, got hundreds, if not thousands of Google reviews, probably generated $1 million in additional revenue over the next few years. Easy, easy. And it's so simple, right? It's just so simple.
Early mover
So
advantage is what you're talking about. And honestly,
yeah,
this is why I was number one in Google. This is why I had 50,000, because 2 years later, when I started teaching Facebook marketing and all of my Facebook courses, I was showing behind the scenes. I was showing
yeah,
my screen. I'm like, this is how you make a Facebook ad. Like I was showing it, and there are people, even dentists in my own community, that were taking my courses And they were doing the exact same thing I was doing, but they were 2 years too late in a
Yeah.
sense,
And
right? They could never, because guess what happened? The algorithm shifted. And so when people came in initially for me, the only way that you would see my content again is if you were following their page,
you were
because
following you. Yeah.
there were zero ads initially, right?
Yeah.
So when ads came along, the algorithm changed. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, I had an unfair advantage. And I will tell you, that is what's going on right now. People are saying, what's going on? Google ads are going up. It's because people are searching on Claude and they're using ChatGPT and they're in
Yeah.
Gemini. I know I'm in Gemini every single day, right? And people are in Manus. And so now you've got split eyeballs,
Attention. Yeah.
right? Also, obviously, we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. ChatGPT has just announced that there's going to be some ads and they're going to be integrating
Yep.
in ads into AI overviews. But right now, I will tell you, we've been helping on our end, on the done for you side, posting of social media content, creating it, posting it, with digital floss. We've got doctors that we've been doing this for a couple years now. Okay. And honestly, this came through our good friend, mutual friend, Catherine Alderman. Okay. So
Yeah.
I saw Catherine actually at a conference a couple years ago, and she was like, Anissa, you're posting on all of these, I think I was doing Facebook at the time and Instagram and maybe YouTube. She's like, you need to start training the LLMs. And she said, I promise you, people are not going to be Googling 2 years from now. And I was like, what are you
Yep.
talking
What are you
about?
talking about? Yeah.
Talking about,
Exactly.
we need to start training LLMs. So anyway, long story short, we started creating the content and posting it on all 7 platforms, looking at integrating in Bing, like all of this stuff. And last year, August, there was a big shift that happened or a big thing that happened, event that happened, that Instagram started being indexed by Google.
Right.
Search, okay. And when that happened, I will tell you, almost overnight, I mean, I was
Yep.
like, what the hell is going on? Right. Like almost overnight, 80% of our clients went number one to Google. And I was just like, whoa, right?
Whoa.
I
Yeah.
was like, whoa, right? And they've had
So
was advantage, right?
explain indexed.
Right.
What does that mean?
Okay. So I'm going to just talk in really simple terms. Okay.
Okay.
So what we want to do, or what happens with these, we call them LLMs, right? Language learning models, but really it's ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. It's just the
Right.
definition. Okay. So Google, traditional Google, again, I'm going to talk simply. You would type in something, and then all of a sudden there would be, let's just call it a match system. If those words
Yeah.
matched on your website, then they would share that that's the website and they would recommend that website. Okay. What's happening now is that when data is being crawled or pulled, it is pulling from, yes, your website, yes, your Google review. Okay. But it's also pulling from Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and YouTube and X. And what's interesting as well is a lot of people don't think about Bing, right? But Bing is massive for ChatGPT. And so you want to make sure you're claiming that. So it's really pulling from every place. And here's the thing. This is why social is so impactful, perhaps, and I'm going to say in combination with your website, but for those of you who are not doing blog posts, for those of you who've not updated your website in the last
Yeah.
year or two, okay, and you've got someone else who's writing for social media posts, keeping SEO or AI SEO in mind, who's posting 16 times a month, meaning every day, four times a week for 4 weeks. That's 16 times that they're having content that is now searchable by Google,
Right.
all of the other platforms. And that's why social is so significant right now, because people are not typically updating their websites. And I will say this too, like for those people who only thought about, oh, I've got a website, I'm good. Or I've only thought about only have a pay-per-click performance marketing, I'm good. Or I'm just doing reviews, or I'm just doing social. You're also, again, things have changed because for the doctors that we see that did not hit number one, their website had not been updated. Their stock photo,
Yeah.
like it looked
Yeah.
like, I call it like, your website looked like the dollar store, but your brand is like Neiman Marcus, right? So definitely a lot of things that are happening.
So let me just state this back to you in kind of like another story to
Yeah.
confirm what's happening.
Yeah.
So when we launched our social media product, really, and this is 2010, okay? Really the idea was to get lots of followers. And when you posted content, the algorithm inside of Facebook was that what you posted would be shared to your followers. And it was really, really high. It was more than half of them would see the content. That changed over the years and it became, you had to run ads and that kind of stuff. And that was the only way to like track whether or not somebody came into your practice from social media. It was really hard to track, actually. You couldn't track it very well, right? I mean, you figured out some super slick ways to track it, but it wasn't affecting your ranking in Google. Like what you did on Google and what you did on Facebook were two separate activities. And now the AI search engines, according to what you're saying, is that they are indexing, they're actually looking at the content on social media in the same way that they would look at your website. So what you post on social media helps you rank better in AI search. That's basically what you're saying.
That is.
Okay. So why do you think that the LLMs, why is it doing this? Like, what's the benefit of a search engine, an AI search engine, looking at all the content? Why would they even want to do it? Why can't we just stick to the regular model of like matching the keyword with what's on your website?
Right, because they're trying to be more helpful. They're trying to get better answers. And if we're asking for who is the best, who truly is the best, right? The best is not somebody who pays the most for a Google ad.
Right.
Okay. The best is someone who's going to build real connection, that's going to show that they care about the community. The best is going to be a business that actually responds to reviews, right? So they're looking at that as well. They're also looking for human, right? They're looking for human. And so being able to have, again, let's just say on your website, human content or human content on your social, or so many ways that they can pull data. It's interesting, Adrian, I've had my practice for 25 years now, I think.
Yeah.
Right. And what I tell doctors I'm 51, who've been practicing for a while, like me, I said, we built a really strong reputation in the community. Maybe we have a lot of Google reviews, right? Like we played the game, right? And we played it well, like we serve people. But now what happens is somebody who is listening to this podcast, someone who is younger, who understands the algorithm, and I'm not going to say younger, but I'm just going to say it because I'm at the stage that I can say that, okay? Who understands it and starts posting everywhere, who has understands the algorithm of how you get recommended, they're going to outperform. So yes, right now, I hear marketers say, well, if you're on Google and you're number one, you're good. Yes, you are, because right now, maybe no one else who you're competing with has content on all platforms. But as soon as they start using the actual LLM algorithms, meaning posting everywhere, you're going to go down. And so that's why it's so important. Then, hey, it's not just social. It's not just your website. It's your reviews. It's honestly what's going on with Reddit. And even with reviews, some people are doing different ways to get reviews. There are some companies, I don't know if you guys on your end have like a microsite for reviews. Those sites are also being
Being indexed. Yeah.
Indexed as well, so it really is multi-platform, multi-distribution, which is interesting. We were talking about this, a couple of weeks ago when we were both speaking at an event. And, it's interesting because, 8 years ago, 8 years ago, when I was teaching my Facebook marketing course, I truly believe that I could help practices by, either the doctor had the interest or give me a team member and I can train them on how to make it work. Okay.
Yep.
And I truly believe I could. And we did. Like there were so many doctors that still come up to me today that said, oh, I was running, I was DigiCourse and all of this happened. But now posting 4 times a week on 7 platforms, making sure your website has like the blog articles and like it's just gotten to be where even if
it's insane.
it's
Insane.
So it's kind of insane, and I don't think so. We have the client who had full arch $6 million practice, and he said, I've got this lady, and this is when I was running my coaching program, which I no longer run. And he was a coaching client, so he said, "Can you train Susie? I'm paying her 60 grand a year to do my marketing." He had the budget to pay her because
Yeah.
practice is doing well. I said, "Sure, I'll train her. I'll tell her exactly what we're doing. Okay, I don't have to hold back. Like have a copywriter and
Yeah.
content and have the scripting and film it and edit it and post it on platforms and geofence ads and like all this stuff." So I said, "This is what needs to be done." I said, "But I'm pretty sure that you're probably going to come back and realize that your copywriter is not great at shooting a video, and the
Yeah.
person video can't edit, the person can't edit, can't run ads, and then the whole back end, like if you've got to go high level that's doing lead management, and then what about the AI automation that's going to call the patients for you?" And so I said, "I'm pretty sure if you hire someone, right, hire a company, and it doesn't have to be mine, right, but hire a company, hire someone to do it for you, you're actually going to pay less
And you get better results.
and get better results than paying
Yeah.
this person that you already have on payroll." Right. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So, no, I agree. The whole idea of like, I used to think, I mean, most of our services and not, I mean, even now there's some of our services that are kind of like DIY support services, but it has become very, very clear to me that, and I hate to say it, but I don't think dentists can do their own marketing anymore. And we built our product, our social media product, the one that you were involved with. It was coaching and training and suggesting ideas and getting people involved. And it is so freaking complicated. I'm looking at this stuff, reading all day, every day. And it is so, I mean, you have to have a team. You literally have to have a team if you want to be found. It's so complicated. I just don't think that it makes sense. You're going to get lackluster results. I mean, unless you're like a group practice with a budget enough, or a DSO with a big enough budget, you can build your own marketing team with your copywriter, with your graphic design artist, with a media person that can shoot, and they actually have a skill set. It's not like the 22-year-old Susie that just came out of school and she knows how to use her iPhone. Like you have to have a team to do it. I don't think dentists can do it. It's just too much, you know? So I echo your thoughts about that. And it's not and honestly, I mean, people listen to this probably think, "Oh, well, that's just a sales pitch," but I'm just being like, I don't know. We can't do it
you know,
without the team.
Yeah, I mean, Adrian, we connected on a personal level a couple of weeks ago. I'm at a season of my life, honestly, that the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, again, I have an agency, you can join it or not join it. Like, it's totally your choice. But I'm in a season of my life, because I'm a dentist myself, of being honest and telling the truth. Because I think what happens is sometimes, and look, as a dentist, we do that in our practice as well. The patient needs to have a crown, and if they do the filling, it's probably going to break. But then
Right.
sort of internal fear because of childhood trauma or whatever fear. Like you don't want to, you feel like if you tell someone the truth, that they're going to think you're trying to sell them something.
Yeah.
At the point in my practice, right before I retired clinically, and I said, "You need a crown. The tooth is going to break. I am okay. You can go see someone else, but I am
Yeah.
not going to do the crown."
Yeah.
Okay. All I do is just tell you the truth. And people respected that. And so that is the season that I'm in. And so the truth, guys, if you listen to this podcast, is that everything has changed with marketing, right? Google ads are going to keep going up and up and up. Why? Because people are not searching on Google. People are using, thankfully, their Gemini product. Like, I'm going to be honest, I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's one, but I'm also applying every day, and I'm using, I'm in a couple of them, and AI overviews. Like, can we talk about that? Because AI overviews now, and again, I saw today, it looks like maybe they're shifting it around, but prior to this podcast, like AI overviews is the first thing you do when you see And what it does is it scans all of this information and someone says, who's the best dentist in Rome, New York? And it scans all of this data. And the more you have and the more clearly it's written for AI
Right.
SEO, it's going to spit back what it's been trained. Okay.
Right.
And so again, you want that because that is going to give you the answer and even a link. Okay. Without actually going to the website. And so really,
That actually, can we talk about that for a second? I want to talk about zero-click search for a
yeah,
second. Let me set the stage for this really quick. So, when Vanessa says that nobody's clicking to your website, the data is super, super strong on this, that people prefer the AI responses over traditional search. So when you go to ChatGPT and you ask a question, you get your result, the conversion rate from somebody buying a product, there's a lot of retail data on this, is like 4 to 8 times higher from the recommendation from ChatGPT. And I would imagine it's the same on Google Gemini than it is to, just do a regular search on Google how we used to. So people trust and they actually want AI results. Now, here's what's going to happen. And if anybody's been listening to any of these other podcasts I've done, I've talked about it about 5 or 6 times, but in 2026, we don't know when, Google is switching their entire user interface. It's going to go to full AI mode. So if you've ever used AI mode, it's like integrated, like chatting with Gemini, and there's no 10 blue links. That's gone. So what's going to happen when they make that switch is that 80 to 85% of all the search traffic online, which is what Google kind of controls, around 80%, I think now, somewhere around there, 80, 85%, is going to be interacting with Google Gemini. And no one's clicking from the AI result to your website to do more research because the AI does the research for you and people trust the response. So we call this a zero-click search. No one's clicking because clicking is so hard. It's so hard to take your mouse and click a button and it goes, right? We just want the answer. There's no more clicks. So if you're not in the response of Gemini or in the response of ChatGPT, what's going to happen? You're not going to get found. You're literally not going to get found. I mean, how big is that, right? In like that's massive. Cause I don't know. And you're with your clients, how many people find their new dentist online? Like there's no other way to do it. You know what I mean? And even if you're recommended or referred by other patient to a dentist,
kind of go
you
and
check them out online. You go check them out. So it's
yeah.
just like this zero-click search thing, I think it's going to be catastrophic for dentists who have not stayed on top.
And guys, not just for social media, right? So, Adrian and I, again, humbly stating pioneers on social media, but it's not just social media now. I would implore you to look at your website as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the truth is that what we're seeing and we now have a website product. We had to build it for our clients because
you have
last
to.
year we were advising, because we do photos and we do videos, we're advising their website companies. And I said, we have to have a video at the top and we have to have the lead gen that goes to go high level, like all of that stuff. But what I noticed is very few had FAQs. And if they were like 3 or 4 or 5. Right.
Yeah.
And very few service pages. Some would have like, oh, here are our 5 services. But like, imagine now, this is what I see as being ideal. And maybe it's over the top, but we want to give it data. So let's just say there's 6 or 7 services like implants or clear aligners or cleaning emergency.
Right.
But then within cosmetic dentistry, there's veneers, there's composite filling, so each one of those has a subset and each one of those can have copy or data that's really there to train what it spits back out. And then each one of those has 8 or 10 FAQs, right? So imagine now And the FAQs are actually written based on how people are talking, right?
Give me an example for the audience. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So my son broke his tooth. What are, does he have to be afraid of the treatment? Is it going to hurt? Right? Like, however people are actually talking to ask a question is that as if you
Right.
were asking a human, right? So those types of questions. So instead of a typed out, you have to think about when somebody's asking a friend or talking to their phone, what are things that they're going to ask? Right? Is this office open 7 days a week? Do they take this insurance? Obviously, those are ones, but then going deeper, but answering in a way of how people would answer. Okay. So the FAQs also have to be written that way. And so again, if we have content posted on LinkedIn, posted on YouTube, which is owned by Google, posted on Instagram, which is indexed by Google, on all short form videos, which is in the toolbar of Google, posting directly to Google, which many
Right.
people don't know, training your websites, and then you have the Google reviews. You can imagine now that it's nearly impossible for anyone else who's in your 5 mile, 10 mile radius to have a citation or be recommended higher than you can. In the
Yeah.
reality, as we said, it's difficult. Adrian, let me simplify it again, because again, what I don't want to do is make people feel like give up and like, I can't, you know
I
what I
can't
mean?
do this. Let's ignore it. Yeah.
So the truth is that I'll share with you how simple it is. Okay. How simple it is deciding what you want to be known for. Okay.
Right.
And deciding, the services that you want to be known for, and deciding how you want people to feel when they feel your practice, right? And then from there, it's as simple oftentimes as a call, like a call with a copywriter to be able to capture that, right? And now to be able to, on your behalf, write what goes on the website, write your social media posts, and do 1 or 2 days, take some photos, make some videos, and now it's done for you, right?
Yeah. You got the content. Yeah.
Got it. Now you can have, leads being generated. And now it's so beautiful. And this is how beautiful and easy it is actually in 2026 is that you can have AI receptionists calling 1 minute after, 5 minutes after, texting automated, booking appointments directly into your PMS, which we couldn't do a couple years ago,
You
guys.
couldn't do it. The technology wasn't there.
So this is the beauty of AI at the same time is that in the past, we could get away with being like, oh, mediocre. But now it's like we go and we show who we are. And guess what happens? All right. I heard Matthew say this. So Matthew Brown owns another marketing agency. And we were speaking at another event. We're all speaking at all of these events, right? And he said, everybody says they want to have a high value patient, right? Like we hear
Yeah.
that, right? I need the high value leads, high value patients. But the reality is that there's no such thing as a mail order, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
let me mail order high value. But what you can do is you can become the high value by how people see you, which means that you're going to be the obvious choice chosen. And so you actually get to control that. And
Let me piggyback on that a little bit. So when you're talking about becoming the high value choice,
yeah,
another word to use would be you become the authority.
that's
And I
right.
think Google likes to use that word.
Right.
You become the authority in your industry and your community.
That's
Okay.
right.
And one of the things that AI search has the ability to do that we did not have in traditional search is understand context and sentiment. And they also look at user generated content in order to try and craft a story about you. Right. So as you're talking about this, you're like nailing it on the head with like, what's your story? How do you want people to feel about you? And the reason you're saying that is because the AI search engines can understand the emotional context of what's online. So it used to be the keyword phrase matches your blog post or your website. And that was SEO. And now it's like, well, what's everybody else saying about this person or this doctor? Is it good context? Is it good sentiment? And that is weighted very heavily in the way in which ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, these large language models might recommend you. Like if you have if your patients are talking about you in a good light in lots of places, that all feeds up to the AI engine going, this person's the authority. This is who I'm going to recommend.
Yeah. So it's the authority. So imagine your social media, you're coming in and you're talking about full arch, you're talking about airway, right? You're speaking about it. We had one doctor who does full arch, and he had some videos and he was talking about there are people that have been told that they don't have enough bone. But the truth and reality is that maybe the dentist that they've seen just hasn't doesn't do a lot of cases and hasn't had an opportunity to
Yes.
really come up with other solutions, right? And it's very respectful, but it's the truth, right? And they're showing their technology and they showed that they have an in-house lab or whatever. And they had a patient that saw that, came in, decided to write a check for $48,000, made a decision before they even came in and said, the reason why I chose you is because you can do what my dentist who I went to college with can't do because of what saw. Now that's the skill set. If you've been thinking about implants, you've got some questions. Here's what you need to know. You might think you're going to need a prescription. At the end of the visit, you'll ask yourself, what was I so afraid of? You know what? Come in and let's talk about it and then we'll figure it out. So that's authority with human. And imagine a video on your social or on your website that starts off with, it takes integrity. We thought to ourselves, what if we built a practice putting the team first? And the team members are saying, I've never worked for a doctor like this. Over here, we're like family. And they're saying, when you come to this practice, you don't have to go anywhere else. We have everything done on the one roof. And so now what happens is you can use the AI to your advantage. So the AI, again, is going to be the AI receptionist, the automation. It's like all of that happening, right? But at the same time, when you do social or when you do marketing correctly, it's actually not about the head at all. It's not about the head at all. It's actually about the heart, because the heart is when I connect with you and I say, and I feel that like I chose my dentist. I have my dental practice, but I live in Fort Lauderdale. It's not here. I was looking for a dentist and I saw, guys, that exact video. And it started off with, it takes integrity. I clicked on it. And in 1 minute, I got a message saying, I see that you wanted to have an appointment. How can I help you? 30 minutes later, I got a notification that they said, well, just letting you know, not sure if you're aware, you have Delta Dental. We don't take the HMO version. I'm a dentist.
Right.
HMO, I had no idea. Right. So I don't know. Do you still want, it's going to be $100 and whatever, $80.
Yeah.
Is that paid? I said, yes. Why? Because I watched your video. I went to your social media. I don't care. Like, it's not that I'm, and throwing my money around, but I realize this is my health, right? And so I'm spending $30 this morning. I spent to order an avocado toast from Uber Eats, right? I'm sure worth $160 to get my teeth. You know what I mean? So the human is so important, but if all we have are stock photos, if we have no content or we're not consistent, and like, here's the thing, guys, like, let's just say you're not doing all in video content. If you're doing something and someone is doing nothing, you're going to have the advantage.
Yeah.
So do something. That's the whole point, I think, of this, and I know you guys have got some really cool products that you have to be able to help practices, where they can really start the process. Obviously, we have an agency with digital floss, but like, don't be an avoidance, because like Dr. Jeff Buski, I don't know if you guys know him, great dentist. He does a lot of full arch. And he's like, if you don't start embracing this type of marketing and find people that know what they're doing, you're going to be left in the dust, right?
Yeah. You're going to be invisible. You'll be invisible. It'll be really, really hard to find you online.
Yeah.
It's like I mean, I hope we don't come too hard across in this whole FOMO scare tactic thing,
It's
but
true.
the thing with it is though, is like, we've been doing this long enough. I mean, you've been in dental longer than I have because you're a doctor, but you've seen it. Like, I mean, we started this podcast out and you're like, something big is about to happen. It's just like websites. It's just like social media. It's just like reviews. It's about to happen. And what's crazy is, I mean, it's kind of like, I would imagine a doctor looking at somebody's mouth with disease and caries and going, I know where this is heading, kind of thing, right? It's kind of like that. I mean, it's like this is right in the middle of a transition.
Yeah,
And in a couple of years, there are going to be doctors going to clean up, and there are going to be doctors that are going to be going, what the hell just happened? I, I'm not getting any new patients.
yeah, it's people who saw digital X-rays when people were still dipping film.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not that it's not going to change. It is changing. It's going to change.
It's happening.
It's already changed, right. And so, yeah, I think it's really just putting your eye on it, and saying, okay, and it's, look, guys, it's not just marketing. It's looking at how can we use AI receptionists to answer the phone so that our team can now buy back their time and they can have a cup of coffee with a patient like old school days, right? That's what I think AI, honestly, what it's there for. It's there to bring us back as humans because we've gotten so disconnected where I went to the eye doctor a couple months ago. I was referred to go have an evaluation. My optic nerve is a little bit big. And so I went to an ophthalmologist. I spent 2 hours waiting for this guy, which is fine. It is what it is. And they could have had better systems to text me and let me know when to come in.
Yeah.
Oh, running late. But long story short, I waited. It's fine. I saw him for 3 minutes and he wasn't looking at me. Okay. He was just quickly in and out, looking at the x-ray, reading the thing, writing it down. He goes, yeah. So you have 20/20. I said, well, I'm confused. Wait, you say I have 20/20, but I went to do an eye exam a couple of weeks ago and they gave me glasses. So I'm confused. He goes, yeah, but that's not the same thing. Um, and, and we don't do exams here. Like he was like that with me. And I said,
Well,
okay. I said, well, you know what? If I can't get the answer from you and I just soften, where am I going to get the answer? I did that intentionally because I wanted
yeah.
to stop and think about, because he's just going through the motions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because he's so busy is the point, right? So if he had processes and systems in place, if there was AI perhaps in place, if there were things in place, and guess what? We're saying that, but this happens every day in our dental practices where patients are calling and we don't get back, or they need patient financing and we don't follow back up with them.
Right.
Somebody wants an appointment and then we can't get them in, or they say that they can't come in this day and we cancel them. We're doing the same thing every day. So we can't judge this guy. Okay.
Yeah.
So AI is there to help us so that we can get back to human. And so I believe that these LLMs understand this. So they're there to take off the research and all the things so we can just get to the really good answer. Right.
Yeah. The automation of automating almost everything that you just said there, it's all available.
Yeah.
You can automate almost all of that and free up tons and tons and tons of time. All right. So let me switch. I want to go back and just hit on one more thing really quick. So we're just rambling here and we're talking about all this stuff you need to do. And I can see the audience going, there's too much to do here. This is so confusing.
Yeah.
So if you were not a marketing genius and you didn't have your own marketing company and you were going to build internally, let's say you had the budget, okay, to build internally the skill sets that you would need in order to do all of this, what do you need? Like, or another way to ask that question is, how have you built your team? Like, who are the people on your team that are doing the tasks? So that I want people to see this and go, yeah, I know how to do that, but what's this, and this?
But I will tell you to do it at a really beautiful high level that brings in quality leads, that gets you the top AI overviews, that makes you the obvious choice, right? So number one, you want to have human copywriting. Okay.
Right.
So I went to the Go High Level Summit and someone was there from OpenAI and Google, and they both said that AI can read AI. And so
Yeah.
if you have, let's just say you have AI generate 80% of it, 20% of it, you want to be just like everything in AI, you want to be old school, somebody that can look over, that can put the human in it, right? So human copy, right? So somebody that can write your voice right for you. Because guess what? Uh, um, Instagram is being indexed. So it's writing for SEO. Okay. So you need an SEO writer. And then you want somebody to make the videos for you. Okay.
So
So
you have to be able to shoot and edit,
and
and
edit
you also have to have lighting
and
and
know
sound,
and know how to post. And
right?
then also to get people to see your videos. So a lot of people I see doing content on their own, and I look and there's like 300 people that see the video. Okay. So now it's also understanding how to get 10,000 people to see it for $100 on this zip
So
code,
you
right?
need to understand the ads
Yeah.
platform.
Okay. So you have to understand ads. And then it's understanding not just this platform, but the video editing from one platform is different. So one's 30 seconds,
Right.
it's a
Right.
minute, right? And then the calling. So if you want to have a lead management, then now you going to have a CRM for that, which could be go high level. And then, or there are companies that, you can plug in to have AI calling. So it's so many different things. So I'm going to be honest with you. What I do 7 years ago, I would have hired your services with my social practice, the services that you had then, because obviously you have different services now,
Yeah,
right? But
totally different. Yeah.
hired my social practice, I would have taken my Facebook course because that's what was necessary then. Okay. Now, what I would do is there is no way, and my course was teaching you how to do it on your own. There's no way right now because what I realize, it is just like my good friend, Dr. Benjamin Hardy says, it's the who and not the how. Okay. It is the who and not the how. And now, as I own my dental practice, I'm not trying to figure out how to do anything. I'm like, who can I hire
To just do this right.
do it so I don't have to think about it? Because I'm trying to go home at night. I'm trying to go to the beach. I'm trying to go to yoga, or I'm trying to do CEO things, which is be a visionary, not just about this department. So this is how a visionary practice owner is going to think if you want to grow from 1 to 3 to 5 to 7 to 10 million, is you got to say, okay, who's going to be my leader to make sure my marketing is taken care of? Cool. Got that. Check that off. Who's going to be the person to make sure that my accounting's done? Okay. I got my CPA. I know he's on charge of my bookkeeping. He's good. Who's going to be my person to ensure that
Yeah.
we treatment? Who are your who's? Your job is not to figure out the details of how. You find your
Well,
who.
I will say, so I didn't mean to cut you off in this, but the how to do this is changing so fast.
Yes.
Like what I was doing in our SEO product
Yeah.
6 months ago versus 3 months ago has already changed it because we're trying to keep up with the pace of what the change that's happening. And I don't know if it's ever going to slow down. It's
Never.
almost like it's
Go on.
not going to slow down. So you hire somebody who knows how to do it 6 months ago. And if you're not investing in that person to learn, you're sending them to the Go High Level Summit. You're sending them through your funnels program. If you still do that, they're going to be lost. They're going to be totally freaking lost. It's going to go nowhere. It's going to be like,
I know what we're doing right now. I know because we geek out about what we're doing right now.
yeah,
And I closed on my coaching program. I closed it down, which people knew delivering well, and my podcasts and my events and the coaching and all that. It's all closed down now, right? Because I realized that I have to be 100% in on every single day. I'm in all of these platforms. I'm looking at everyday things. Like today, I looked at Google. I'm like, this didn't look like how it looked yesterday. Now I'm going to test something else. And like, it's
right.
constantly changing. And there is no way that someone who's not looking at this stuff every single, and it's also,
You're not going to be able to keep up. There's no way.
we're hiring advisors, I'm sure, and hiring experts, and then you're testing. And so, yeah, it's 2026. It's 2026.
No, we've just, and we're being forced. So I appreciate you kind of like breaking down all of these skill sets. And there's There's other skill sets that I'm thinking about in the way that we've built our team. I'm sure you have, but
Yeah.
like, you got to have somebody that knows how to do technical SEO. Like here's something that nobody in the audience probably is even thinking about. You build your website. It's bitching. It looks awesome. They're using all your video content that you shot for them. It's SEO optimized. And it loads. I mean, it loads too slow. Like AI SEO, AI search is searching at 800 milliseconds.
Wait, can we talk a little bit?
Under 1 second.
No, stop. Let's go into that. Can we do that? Can I interview you now? I haven't had a podcast in so long, right?
Well, it's just like it used to be. Your site needed to load and need to load relatively fast because humans will wait 2 or 3 seconds for a site to load. But the AI has to read your content, grab some part of it, pull it back in, create its own response, and display it. And so the speed of a site has to be wicked fast. All right. So now you need a technical SEO person. I mean, it's just like, and I could think of 3 or 4 other individual skill sets that it's like, in order to do this right, you have to have a team of people that are specialized, and you can't have your graphic designer doing your technical SEO because it's just 2 completely different things.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, let you go ahead and go whatever rabbit hole you want to go down. Let's do it.
No, can we do that? Can we do the website SEO? Can we do that a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start?
You start.
Okay. So if you don't have a blog, okay, first of all, you need to have a website, and it needs to be updated, and it can't be just block copy. You kind of leaned into this idea of interviewing a doctor to get the content to write to get the sense, the meaning and the story about the practice in order to write the copy. And that is like so freaking important. Okay. If you were my client, I would bring you on and I'd find out all about you personally. How do you want to be seen in the industry? Why did you open up a practice in the way where you open up? Who are your team members like? How do you want your patients to talk about you? What's your story? Blah, 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 blah. I would get all of that. Okay. And that would be in all the copy across the site. It wouldn't just be the about us page. I went to school here and I've got 3 kids, a spouse and a dog. I mean, I would have it like integrated into all the copy across the site, and the adjectives and the verbs that you use would relate back to the tone and the feeling of the office. So the copy has to be totally dialed in. You can't just go to ChatGPT and say, write me a blah, blah, blah page about this, and then just take it and put it on. The AIs will read it and they'll just say, this is bullshit. This doesn't make any sense. So your copy has to be awesome. Okay. If you are not blogging, like almost like maybe once a week, you're out of the picture because the AIs look at most recent content as a higher priority than older content. So if you're not changing and updating your site with blog articles or new service pages, you're missing the mark. And there's nobody in the industry. We work with 7,000 dentists. I know one guy that likes to write. Dr. Larry Stanley in Toronto loves to write. He's the only guy. Nobody wants to write anything, right? It's a freaking mess. So you have to have that, right? You need to be built on a platform that is got great hosting, because the hosting product that you have is the speed at which the website can be loaded, and the content on the site has to be minimized and cached properly so that it loads quick. It gets all the technical SEO. Schema is a massive part of like how AI reads your site. And if your schema is jacked up, you won't even be looked at. So I'm saying all this stuff that's like, oh, a doctor might be watching this going, oh, all right, schema. And then they go and research schema and they're like, okay, we got to do it. And like, no, just get somebody that knows what the hell they're doing to do it. So I say from a technical standpoint, okay, not necessarily in aesthetics. You're really, really good at aesthetics. Like anybody watching this that wants a website that's just beautiful, talk to Anissa. We can build beautiful sites, but you do a really good job at it. Like you send in your media team, they shoot all the stuff. It's great. After our meeting in the Bahamas, I told Anissa, I said, damn it, we need to be doing what you're doing. The media, but you got a great team. So I'm just talking about like, is your site found? Is it written properly? Is the schema correct? Just to kind of hit the basics of like being sucked into the AI brain, so to speak. I've noticed I've looked at hundreds and hundreds of practices. The website is the primary number one source of content for the AIs. Okay. But it's not all of it. It's like 40, 50% of the content. All the other stuff is everything else we've been talking about, social and user generated content and reviews and blah, blah, blah. But your website has to be dialed in and it's got to be wicked fast. And most of the sites I look at are not, don't pass the bar. So that's where I come from.
I'm going to give you like kudos on what you just said. So, there are people out there that are spending a lot of money on a website. Okay.
You
Because
don't need to spend a lot on a website.
So
You don't.
I'm going there. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I took it from you. I took it and I just grabbed it and made it mine.
Right. Well, I'm validating what you said because there are people out there that are spending a lot of money on a website because it has a video or it has photos. And when I started to analyze some of these sites for our clients, what I realized is that some of these sites also, not only do they not have FAQs, they have very few, if any, they don't have the service pages, but also what happens is there are zero or very little call to actions that have people request an appointment.
Yeah.
And so the homepage, the first page, you see, meet the team, meet the doctor, menu, which might be like the services, but like fancy name or something like that. Right. And so having like, I don't know.
You're just talking about funneling. You're just trying to like get a visitor to schedule.
And sometimes they say like, she's a pretty house, but nobody's home. Or like, he's a hunk, but nobody's home. Like, it's kind of like that. And so I'm just here to tell the truth, guys. And so what is better? Again, I'm going to go back to my dentist that I found. His website really wasn't that pretty. He had a video at the top. Okay. To the right of it was the opt-in form. I didn't even make it past that. But when I did to go back, it was full of text. It was full of text. Okay. It wasn't pretty at all. But guess what? He's the number one highest rated cosmetic dentist in all of Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Okay. And you go in their office and it has a huge book, old school photo book, 4x6 of before and afters of cosmetic cases. Okay. So clearly they're doing something right. Okay. But here's the thing. If you can do both.
Absolutely.
I would prefer all day long that you have a site that speeds well, that has a good, site speed, that has the data. Then again, like I would just say, like, if you're listening here, I think the biggest takeaway right now is to look at what you're doing. Look at your website, look at and really like say, you know what, I need somebody to just put I need a second opinion. In 2026, I need a second opinion because it's the same thing. Like you go to the same dentist, you do all of these things. And sometimes, you've been seeing the same old eye doctor for so long that finally, you know what? I need to get another eye. I need another set of eyeballs. I need a second opinion. It's about what's happening right now. And go back to who you're using right now. But if what we're saying, they're confused or they're not coming to you with it, it might be time to get a second opinion. Can
I say something also? When a dentist comes to us and we're going to build them a site, they obviously want something unique and they want the site to represent the benefits, obviously, but who they are and whatnot. And so they'll talk to us like, well, I want something different. They don't know what they want, but they want something different. Now, here's the reality. Every freaking dental website is 95% the exact same damn thing for everybody. You got a color palette, you have a general structure. It's all the same shit. Okay. The thing that makes it different is your media. It's the imagery and the video content. That's it. You can spend $1,000, maybe not even that much, on a general structure. Then you should spend 10,000 or however much you need, and you get the media content. Because as soon as you drop the media into the site, I don't give a shit what the site structure looks like. All of a sudden, it becomes an F-rated site to an A-rated site.
Grace.
And that's it. It's just the media content.
Yeah.
Maybe a color palette. Your color palette might be kind of crappy.
It does. It does.
But that's it.
If you're a pedo office, you're going to want different colors than if you're a man or a woman, or,
Sure.
but you're right. Just that the feeling of it,
It comes from the media.
Does.
And you do that really, really well.
Thank you.
Extremely well. So some of the best I've seen since I've been in the industry. So kudos to you on that. All right. So is that good on websites?
Thank you. I think you're good.
No, is that good that we've covered the website topic?
I think it's really, I think it's really important because, again, I've been reviewing so many of them, right? Because we have the media. And so what we do for our clients, we're like, we're doing social content, we're flying out, we get media. It's yours.
Yeah.
And your website, take it, use it, right? Like you have it, right? And when I started to really, and this is like, the last 2 years, and started looking at their sites, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It's.
But it used to be okay to kind of like build a site and kind of leave it there. It used to be okay, but it's not anymore. You can't do that.
That's 2019, which is stock image, or then it upgraded to like this whole like drone thing in the background, like a slow moving drone.
Yeah, slow. Yeah, yeah.
But I think I love I love challenging things of how they've always been. That's just something I really enjoy. And I feel like the challenge that we're putting out to everyone is challenging, even again, what the site looks like, what it feels like, how it's built.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a $20,000-$30,000 website and there's on the homepage not one place that says request appointment, or it's
you got a problem.
Or it's so tiny you can barely find it, and it's like a scavenger hunt, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah. No, your online scheduling or calls to action to get the data, get the name of the patient. Why spend all this money and not try and convert? Right.
Yeah.
It's like weird.
Having a couple of lines. Again, like my dentist was number one in Fort Lauderdale because he had a ton of words, right? It wasn't words, right? But he's searchable.
Yeah. So, all right. Despite all of everything that we've said about, get some help, there are gonna be doctors and team members. They're gonna watch this. And they're gonna be like, yeah, I'll do it myself. Kind of thing, which is great. What do you say to somebody watching this? Like, I don't know if I want to jump in and drop $10,000 on a media kit or whatever. I don't even know what you charge, but whatever. Right. Like, what do you tell people to do? Like, what should they do today to like do something?
Okay. So doing something is better than nothing. And if all you did was, pick up your phone and start doing a story on your phone every single day, you're going to eventually have people watching what you're doing.
Yeah. And it's good content for the AI search engine.
Right. So if all you're doing is that, it's good. Well, it's good. It's better than nothing. Right. If you can learn how to, again, do some reels and put some ads on it so that it's targeting specific locations, that's going to be better. Okay. So if all you did was that, it's going to be much better than not. The issue and the truth is that a lot of people have very good intent. They say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And they get excited, just like everything. And then a month, 2, 3 passes by and you're not consistent. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
that will happen to everyone.
Right.
Everyone will do that. You'll get excited about it for a little while, then it just kind of falls to the back.
Say, like, if you're starting off and you don't have And look, I'm okay. Because I coached for 8 years and I built practices that in my own practice and businesses and even in digital floss, right? Like we're growing very, very fast. But the only way to go up in anything is to go down first, right? Like if you want to have a tree, I tell people if you want to have mangoes, like in my mango tree that just continues to pay you forever, you got to first plant the seed and the seed goes in the ground, right? If you want to, and so you've got to spend, you've got to, in order to get what you want. There's no other way around it, right?
You have
Like,
to have a budget. There's no way around it.
I'm hiring the best people, the best technical writers, the best video people. If you want to be the best, you can't be the cheapest. And if you're the cheapest, you can't be the best. And the truth is, after coaching doctors for so long, the mindset of I can't is exactly why you won't.
Yeah.
And I'm just keeping it real because I'm in the season. It's like your grandma that finally just speaks the truth. And so the reality is that the reason why people don't make decisions, I don't think is because they don't want to. I think is because people are afraid. They're afraid they're going to make the wrong decision. They're afraid that if they invest, that they're not going to get a return, right? And so these are truths. People have been burnt. And so what my advice would be to you is if anything that we're sharing with you resonates and you're like, you know what, I do need to look at my website. I do need to think about making sure that I'm in AI overviews or how I'm seeing it online, is to work with somebody who has been doing this for a while, to look at the reviews of their clients, talk to their real clients, talk to their real customers, see what their clients are saying, and get a feel. And that's how I've made decisions. I made so many wrong decisions. I've paid people and made bad decisions, but I don't let that prevent me or keep me from getting to my goal because I'm going to get my goal. I'm going to hit my target. If I say I'm going to have an XYZ $1 million practice, I'm going to get there. Right. And so all of this is just part of the learning, and you're going to make bad decisions. And then you learn through that process how to make better decisions the next time so you can do better due diligence with your marketing agency. And so when you do that, then now you can have the confidence or have more confidence to break through the fear, to make the decision, to have the thing that you actually need, which is going to let humans connect with you. Because, and I don't know how, we're coming to the end now, but when people ask me what is marketing, okay, this is my definition. We all have our different definitions. To me, marketing is really just how we help people to see who we are as our authentic selves so that people who need to heal can find us and heal. That's it. It's having people find us so that they can heal, right? It's what it's about. And if there's no lack, okay? There's no lack of oxygen and water and trees and apples. There's no lack of anything in this world, and there's no lack of patience. The only reason why they're not seeing you is that they don't know that you exist. And so how do we ensure that they know that we exist is to make ourselves searchable. It's to, when they do their due diligence from their best friend or from a website or from Google or ChatGPT, what does your website say and what does it feel? And I think that, we've gone through a lot of technical, and maybe we leave on this, heart-centered part of the interview. But really, that's what it's all about. And, I, as a dentist, and Adrian, I know you said before, you're not a dentist, but you chose this industry, and you were, and your partners were the first to be the voice of social media in this industry, and you chose that. And there are people that fly by night, and you're still here, and you're still advocating for helping doctors to be found so that they can help people heal, which means that you're a healer. And so am I. And that's what this is all about, right? So I thank you for bringing me on. And this is love, because some people might say, you guys are competitors. You both help people you both have products. But here we are coming together in this beautiful way to be able to help our people, our doctors, to be able to know the truth so that they can have more people to find it. And that's what this is about, right?
Yeah, I can't say it better. That's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much. Digitalfloss.com is your website. I will make sure to, if you got a CTA link in there for like a consultation or an evaluation, I'll drop it in the notes.
Floss, real simple. Yeah.
Okay. Go to digitalfloss.com and you're just amazing. And I really appreciate you coming on. And I wish you the best of luck, Nissa.
Thank you. And you too.
Thanks for listening to Byte Size Podcast. Tune in to stay up to date with everything dental AI and tech